Hello guys and welcome back. This week the market still green. A lot is riding on this peace deal in Iran. Trump is very positive to it and it seems like the market represents that sentiment quite well. We can see pretty much every sector is green except for energy and utilities. We can see that the Magnificent Five are still growing steadily. For example, Nvidia being at its all-time high currently, as well as Apple having a great week with a upside of 3%, as well as Tesla being up almost 5%. So looking a little bit closer on the crude oil prices, we can see that the WTI is down to $83 per barrel. Specifically this week, what happened was that the 10-day ceasefire triggered a sharp decline in prices, where the oil dropped by 10%. Hopefully, this ceasefire will hold and that the oil prices drop even more. So, if you are pessimistic about this ceasefire, this might be a good chance for you to buy in to some oil. This week, Netflix also dropped their quarterly earnings. Which was quite interesting. They reported earnings with a year-on-year growth of 16%, but the actual value of the company dropped by 10%. So the investors were not really happy with the growth that they got, since they were expecting something more like 17.6% like they had in Q4 of 2025. So Netflix being a stock with a high price per earnings, a deceleration like this in growth can be punished really hard, leading to their decline in value of almost 10% this week. So moving on to look at some precious metals, we can start to look at gold, which had an increase this week of 2.3%. So gold is still climbing, even though gold is a commodity most people choose because of uncertainty. We can see that the stock market is up since they are hopeful for the peace deal in the Middle East. Precious metals like gold and silver are still up, meaning that traders or investors might hedge their stock bets with some precious metals, since the situation in the world currently is still very uncertain. So gold is currently, while recording this, at 4,869. Moving on to look at silver, we can see that it's currently $82 per ounce and had a weekly change of 8%. So percentage-wise, it has grown a little bit more than gold. And during this year it has had a yearly change of 150%, which is a good indicator for me specifically, since I am a silver holder and I have some money in silver currently. Now looking at some crypto, we can start off with Bitcoin, which is currently at 78,000 USD and had an increase this week of a little bit more than 10%. A big argument for crypto is that it's decoupled from the normal asset classes, but currently it has been moving in the same direction, just extremely volatile, which is a bad macro factor for crypto, since Bitcoin is viewed as an alternative to stocks, since it should be moving independently. Still, it has a increasing with accordance to the market pretty much, and hopefully soon we will see a good recovery of Bitcoin, since I have been buying a little bit of Bitcoin during this dip. So during this week I had a very good position in Bitcoin and have made a little bit of money on that. And then quickly moving on to Ethereum, we can see that it's currently trading at 2,454 USD and has been moving pretty much in the same way as Bitcoin during this week, and a little bit more since it's up 12% this week. So now moving on to look at my portfolio, we can see that I'm up 13,000 crowns this week, which is approximately 1,430 USD. This week has been pretty good for me, and my big winners has been Volvo, Investor, and Bitcoin that went up 10% this week. And moving on to look at some more investments from my side. This week I haven't put in any more money, but I had a big dividend this week of 2,769 crowns, which is approximately 300 USD. And this money I just reinvested in the same company, which was Volvo B, which is the Swedish producer of the Volvo trucks. And then lastly, we will stop by looking at my total value, which is currently sitting at 429,500 crowns, which is approximately 47,044 USD. So we are steadily growing, and hopefully we can keep this growth for the following weeks as well. And hopefully I will reach my goal of 500,000 crowns, which will take a lot, but hopefully the market will still be strong and I can reach this goal. And also I mentioned that I had some silver, which is currently on the screen right now. So this will also be added in my investment portfolio. So total value of my investment portfolio right now is 451,436 crowns, which in dollars is 49,444 USD. And hopefully I'll see you guys next week.